All right, so as you guys know, obviously for the last 2 years I've been doing the apparel promotional products part of it, but one part of the business that I wasn't able to talk about when I first came into BNI was web design, because at the time we had Desiree, and then we had Vincent, and then I was still doing apparel and promotions, which was fine, and that's a big part of my business, but another part that's really been picking up has been web design. So I want to try this. I want to see how this works for our BNI group. And there are a lot of web designers in other BNI groups, so for me, this is a nice transition. I'm excited to do it. I love doing web design. We do everything in-house. I have a graphic designer and a web developer, and they're fantastic. So I want to go over this sheet with you a little bit, just to make sure that what you're doing on your websites right now, so you can take something home and look and go, you know what, I do that, or I don't do that, or I should change this, and then we'll see if we can help you out at all. So first, couple things. Is your website a marketing tool online bringing unique visitors that purchase, call, or contact you via it? So how are your websites set up right now? Who in here has an informational, salesy website? It's not designed to sell. It's not an e-commerce site. It's not designed to sell anything, just designed to give information. Who has that type of website? Okay. Who in here has an e-commerce website where they're selling a product, whether it's food or clothes or something else? Okay. And are you getting phone calls for your informational website? Are you guys getting phone calls from your website? Are people looking at it and saying, oh, you know what, I need to call them? Yes? Okay. Sometimes, maybe not as often as you like, maybe a lot, maybe it's your best sales tool. Well, your website should be designed with copy in mind. Copy is just your text and your sales piece. With copy in mind to push them to an action button, which would be call now, contact me, schedule an appointment. Something to that effect. Whether it's an email, whether it's a phone call, you have to decide how you want to get contacted, but your website should be pushing them to do something. To buy now, if it's an e-commerce. What type of website do you have? Let me go back for a minute. Membership sites. Does anyone here have a membership site? Let me explain what a membership site is. Membership site is where you're able to have your visitors log in and you charge them something for it. Whether it's a yearly, a monthly, every 6 months, quarterly. Does anyone have that type of website? I have that with Market University, where you can sign up and pay a monthly charge for a service. Now, that is an ideal website in the sense of you can get a reoccurring monthly income. Those are also one of the harder websites to sell and to get people to join, but if your product is good, then in the end it will bring in visitors, it will bring in spread word of mouth, and you can do your marketing efforts online as well. Is your website up to date with all the newest information you are telling your customers? This is one of the hardest pieces. Who in here has new information that they tell their customer that is not on their website? So you're telling me all of your websites are up to date? That's great. I mean, that would be fantastic. Yeah. I think so too, but that's okay. If your website is consistently up to date, that is your best thing. It's the best thing ever, because it helps for your customers to keep coming back, number one. It's very important that your customers are seeing something different every time. If you have a static website, it doesn't change, it's the same thing over and over and over, why is your customer going to come back? If you have a dynamic website where it changes, and dynamic websites, you can have a lot of different pieces with dynamic websites. One of the things you can have is, let's say, Twitter, Facebook, any of those status updates, LinkedIn, that you go into on the social networking sites, that can pop up onto your website to make your website dynamic, which is nice. And that's not so difficult. There's just a little code that you have to drop in there, and you can now have a little bit more dynamic site. But who in here has information that changes regularly? Nobody? You have some stuff? I imagine you're doing with some solar stuff. You probably have some new information. I imagine with stock market. I imagine with health, pieces to it. Those sites should be consistently updating and giving information to your customers that, oh, you know what, that's new information. That's a reason for me to come back. Tax stuff. You know, every year taxes are, you know, changing. That would be good pieces to put on there, something new. Does your website have the basics done? Titles, text versus images, keyword density, meta tags. Now, who in here knows what all of those are referring to? One, that's good. Good. Okay. So let's talk about text versus images, because this is one that web developers, it's an easy one to change, and your web developer can get a little lazy. Okay. Web developers like to make something look nice, and they like to get through it. But it's not always the best for search engine optimization. Text versus images. If you put an image that has text in it, what does a bot from Google or Yahoo or MSN, when they're looking through it, okay, is they call it spider or a bot, what does the bot see if it's text in an image? Meaning a picture and it says text on it.
Nothing.
It sees nothing, okay? Well, how is that good and how is that bad? Well, that's bad, okay? Why is it not good? Because it can't index what that is. So if you're talking about health and wellness, it's going to see image. That's it. It's not going to see health and wellness, and it's not going to be able to help your text or your keyword density, which is, your keywords are just that, keywords into your total amount of information that you have on your site. And you're aiming for 5% keyword density, meaning you want your keywords to show up 5% of the time. Contrary to maybe what you believe, which is, oh, the more keywords the better, it's actually reverse. It's a certain percentage that the websites want, because when you see, you know, health and wellness, health and wellness, health and wellness, then they go spam. They look at it and say, this is not a good site, because they're trying to do something too over the top to get up there. So the keyword density is very important. Does your website have invisible misspelled words? Anyone know why they do that? Words that are on your website that you can't see, or a customer, you know it's there, but a customer can't see unless they kind of highlight it. You know when you're on something and you highlight and something pops up on the reverse? The reason why they do that is because if you have misspelled words first, if I'm typing in something and I'm not good at spelling or typing, I may misspell it, and then your website can come up. But why do they hide it? Is because it's better for search engine optimization. However, Google don't like that. Yahoo doesn't like that. They will ban you. They will take your website and say, forget it, you're gone, because you're misleading it. Yes, Howard?
3 more minutes.
Oh, 3 more minutes? Wow, okay. So, moving along.
This is good information.
Where does my page rank? Google ranks all pages. The higher the number, the better. Now, you can go here to my Google PageRank, which is not affiliated with Google, and take a look to see what your page rank is. Okay, the higher the better, and that'll rank up there. Okay, so that's good. Take a look, see what your website is. You're aiming for a 5, a 6. You know, if you're at a 7, 8, 9, 10, that's great. If you're at a 2, 3, 4, there's a lot of information that you can change, content. Maybe your text to images, you know, change your images back to text. Make sure your meta tags are there. All these different pieces to it.